The successor to the 2021 Fujifilm X-T30 Mark II has just been announced in a slightly thicker upgraded package, hitting the market at $13.99. The brand new X-T50 surely will capture the interest of many travelers and film enthusiasts. I'm Andrew from Pixel Connection, and thanks to Fujifilm for letting us try out this pre-production model so we could give you guys all the specs and things to know when considering the Fujifilm X-T50 as your next camera. Probably the most interesting aspect of this camera's design is its dedicated film simulation dial that provides quicker access to 20 of Fujifilm's iconic film looks with just the flip of a switch. This is something we've never really seen before from Fujifilm, and if film is something you're interested in, then you will definitely appreciate how easy it is to switch in and out of these different film looks. Other than that, this camera has many similar components to the rest of the X series line, with the classic Fujifilm shutter speed dial on the top of the camera that's similar to a film camera, as well as a bracketing dial and the shutter speed release button. There is also a custom button that is programmable, like many of the other switches and buttons found throughout the camera body and the large high-resolution LCD touchscreen. Like the X-T30 cameras, the X-T50 has an onboard flash that is activated at the flip of the switch connected to the film simulation dial. You'll notice on the front of the camera, the X-T50 is outfitted with the Fujifilm 5th Gen X-Trans sensor that is a whopping 40.2 megapixels, and this is actually the same sensor that you would find in Fujifilm's iconic X100VI, but gives you the ability to add any interchangeable lens on it. And with this camera's built-in 1.4 and 2x digital teleconverters, this high-resolution camera has all sorts of potential with creative framing using different X-series lenses. With up to 7 stops of in-body stabilization, this camera has some pretty serious upgrades in the video category, with the ability to shoot up to 422 10-bit video at 6.2K 30 frames per second, 4K 60 frames per second, and can even shoot 240 frames per second on Full HD. With the option to shoot in one of 2 log formats for cinematic color grading, when shooting in F-Log2, you'll be able to utilize over 13 stops of dynamic range. On top of stabilization, this camera has improved AI-driven autofocus that has broadened the capabilities of subject recognition to be sticky and accurate. Track all subjects from people to animals to birds, planes, trains, even in low light conditions. With a native ISO of 125, the image quality using this camera can be very competitive with even some of the higher end cameras in Fujifilm's lineup. For anything you may be creating, this camera is equipped with Fujifilm's latest camera to cloud capabilities using the native Frame.io system, which allows you to share and collaborate any media instantly as recorded to the Frame.io cloud, and the only thing you need is an active internet connection to upload. Within the camera menu system, there are a lot of cool abilities to cover. Within the image quality settings menu, we have all sorts of options to correct and change the look of your images to your personal style that Fujifilm is known for. Also, there are plenty of custom preset memory banks to save your different looks and combinations that you can switch between. We have a pretty standard autofocus menu and manual focus menu, giving you the ability to change your autofocus points, sensitivity, tracking targets, and abilities. And you can also use handy tools like Manual Focus Assist. The shooting settings menu have a host of useful tools and features. For instance, our shutter type menu gives you the ability to shoot your standard mechanical and electronic shutter, but also run combinations like mechanical shutter up to 1/4000th of a second, then switch to electronic shutter at higher speeds and more. In this menu, you also find your in-body stabilization modes and your teleconverter activation menu. Speaking of, this camera is equipped to shoot up to 20 frames per second at a 1.29 crop, as well as 13, 10, all the way down to 3 frames per second. There's other abilities like HDR images, multi-exposures, and panoramas in this menu as well. Looking at the camera again, we have a back autofocus button, as well as our playback and trash can button, which also acts as our drive mode switch. There's an AEL button, Q menu for all your common settings to adjust, display and back button, and then your menu button. To navigate throughout your camera, you can utilize the 2 scroll dials on the front and back of the camera, or use the joystick, which also acts as a button. On the side of the camera, we have a USB-C port for charging and connectivity, a mic and shutter remote port, and micro HDMI port. This camera uses the MPW126S battery, and next to the battery compartment is where you insert your SD memory card. Overall, this is a nice compact camera that utilizes all the benefits of the latest mirrorless technology in a mainstream APS-C camera body, with many callbacks to using old school film and customizable looks to deliver unique images, at your fingertips and share instantly beyond the cloud. Thanks for watching, and for more information about this camera, please feel free to reach out to us here at the Pixel Connection. And if you found this video useful, and for more information on the latest gear in the photo and video industry, please consider subscribing and ring the bell to be notified on all our latest content releases. And we'll see you guys next time.